Hey, alright guys, got another unrated game on the board. This is 20 minutes and my opponent is from Italy, rated 983, and of course we're going to do the Vienna. Not because the Vienna's in Italy, because the Vienna is in Austria. We'll see what we've got. Okay, so knight out to f6, very, very logical, natural looking move. We'll play the Vienna Gambit. If the pawn takes, I push e5. Then the knight has nowhere to go. Alright, so this is now the Halloween variation. What I call the Halloween variation because it's similar to the Halloween Gambit. Okay, if he takes, we push d4, attacking the knight. The knight should go to here or here, in which case I get to push e5 and attack this guy. This pawn, of course, is defended by the queen. This one's currently defended by the knight, so they're all safe. And this should be the next move. He can also move the knight to here. But the problem with that is, if the knight comes to here, I can push e5 anyway and attack the only defender of that square. Well, this is unusual. I've never seen that before. Okay, well that looks like a free piece. He didn't have to lose a piece. Okay, so we've got a situation now where I've got an isolated pawn. Possible bishop takes there. But in fact, castling kingside here, even without Freddy, the f-pawn is not too big of an issue. So I'm thinking develop the knight, attack the bishop. If he wants to trade off, he's already down a piece for a pawn. And that would not be wise. This would not be good for him. Yes, he'd give me very isolated pawns like that, but being a piece down, wide open board, don't think that's the right approach. Okay, he can now grab another pawn, but I can then pin the knight to the king, which will force him to have to play this. Okay, he's now attacking this pawn as well, so he's only actually a pawn down in material terms. I've got knight here to attack the knight a second time. I'm assuming he's going to play d5. He could play queen e7. d5 is played. Now if I attack the knight, he's got options. He's got queen e7, he's got bishop out to here. I've also got bishop to here, which prevents him from castling. That's not a bad idea. Or bishop to here simply defends the pawn. With ideas of maybe pushing the pawn. So let's try that one. Pawn's now defended. Got a problem with this bishop here. I mean, castling long is a thought. I'm going to have to move my queen in order to get that bishop out if I want to castle kingside. Right, so let's take a scan for undefended stuff. I quite like the look of rook d1, pinning this pawn on the queen. Looks good to me. The knight's no longer pinned. If I was black, I'd be looking at that. In which case I have to move my queen out and options of bishop e2 to block the attack by the rook. Yeah, if he plays rook e8, I think that's definitely strong. Because then, like, even if I move my queen, I can't move my queen there because he's got knight here attacking the queen with a discovered check. Alright, okay, game on. So how about rook here? Maybe he'll take a pawn. Then my queen's double attacked. This is good play. So if I can't go there because knight takes that, discovered check wins the queen. I can't move my king out of the way. I have no other way to block the rook's attack other than knight there, which just drops the knight. So can't put my queen here because again, knight can go there, attack the queen. Okay, well, I'm just going to have to do this, I think. That is actually a double attack on the queen. So if he does this, I would take, queen takes again with check. He's playing remarkably well. Okay, I don't think that's his strongest option. I think this now gives me the chance to play this, right? Now, if he plays his knight there or there attacking the queen, I'm unconcerned because I can capture the rook, trade off rooks, trade off queens, and maybe get out of trouble. This is another unrated game, so we're playing for fun. So knight moves, we're going to trade armor. Now I'm down on pawns, I've got bad pawns, but to my benefit I have a dark square bishop which he doesn't have because he lost it. It's an interesting sacrifice. You know, maybe he played it deliberately, who knows? But this will be good to figure out how to play this line in future, and it's definitely going to go in my notes because this is not a comfortable situation at all. My concern is he plays knight here with a fork on queen and rook, right? Then we go trade, queen takes, rook takes. So maybe I don't know. But then at the end of that, he's going to take my rook. Okay, another slowish move. Now, I'm thinking I now have the opportunity maybe to get out of the way. So like king here, he can't take there because bishop just takes. I think that might be my salvation. Let's try it. Knight here, queen takes knight. He's not thinking of that because it surely just pawn takes, bishop takes. Not there. So I don't think he's getting help, I just think he's playing a darn good game. And a brand new line for me. I'm fixing to become quite the Vienna Gambit expert. So we shall see as pour a bit of tea. Apologies if the noise of that is coming through the microphone and makes you want to go to the toilet. Can't be helped. Now knight here. There's oh, queen's lined up with that. That's not good. Now if I move my rook, what's he got? Check, doesn't work. Check there, doesn't work. I think we might be okay. Oh, in fact I've got knight on there as well, haven't I? So okay, so I think I can take the pawn because I've got two attackers, there's only one defender, right? So what to take it with? Let's take it with a knight. Means my bishop and rook are still guarding this square. He's only got the queen looking there, it's no good. Apologies for the dog racket. What an interesting game. The knight has a couple of checks, but that just loses the knight, as does that. So either way, nothing really gained. But I'm going to have a very naked king, very spacious. Now in a situation like this, what that says to me is, I want to get the queens off the board. I want to trade off. I want to get down to a situation where it's my 2 bishops against his 1 bishop as soon as possible. I think if I can, I want to get my king over here to c1. He's having a good think though. Also, if someone's going to cheat, they're not going to be putting up unrated games as open challenges. So if the knight goes anywhere else, I'm just inclined to trade away, trade off rooks and queens, and try and get to a winnable endgame. Notice that my bishop is in line with the g7 pawn as well, so there may be possibilities along those lines. So what are you going to do? Patros 17. If he does something gentle, I'm just going to shuffle my king away. Out of... Ooh! Ooh! I'd like to take the bishop, but I can't. I think king there anyway looks right. But now if the knight moves, he's going to have bishop and rook looking at there. But it's defended by a couple of pieces. Okay, let's try that. My knight's defended by the bishop. He now doesn't have a check. His only check is rook takes c2. He's playing jolly well. Well done, sir. But now he's got a problem. Now his bishop is on prise, hanging. So hanging means it's on prise, which means it can be taken and undefended. His knight's on a light coloured square, my king is on a dark coloured square. That means this knight cannot move with check. That's important. It's a real reason to get off here, because the knight had 2 checking squares with discovery ideas. Got a significant time advantage. I've got 15.5 minutes, he's down to 11. But I'm liking his play. That's the danger, that's the immediate issue. Alright, now. Okay, knight to here. I can't take with the rook because that drops my queen. If I take there, rook can recapture, and then he's got 2 rooks on there. So I'm thinking maybe not taking at all might be the way to go. I'd like to have my queen like here, and then maybe take the bishop and threaten checkmate. So right now, queen's attacking the knight, and the knight is undefended. So I think it's time to do this. In bowling terms, I actually might win a knight out of this actually. Bowling terms, this is when you just want to smash all the balls away. If you play like crown green bowls, not 10-pin bowling, but it's the same kind of thing. Okay, so now the rook has to recapture the queen, and actually I now win the knight or the bishop. Which one do I want? Am I scared of this? No, I think the knight is the bigger threat, so right at this moment. Yeah, bishops are much more mobile and much more capable on a big open board, but his bishop is still hanging. My king can jump to b2 if his rook should come down, and my bishop would then kind of be pinned, but it's not the end of the world. Alrighty. My first thought is this. Offer to trade bishops. Now, is he going to take that pawn in that case? Should I just get my rook onto g1? Yeah, I think so. Rook g1 defends his pawn, and now I can play this. His rook now can't come down anyway. It's not even an issue. Oh, the bishop is even guarding that square, look. So I didn't have to worry about rook down. Okay. Okay, let's play this. Now you can witness the power of the bishop pair. I don't have a queen to use in conjunction with them, but if we get to an ending and I still have these two, they can really slice open an opponent. So now he can't take this pawn. There we go. Can't take the bishop. So he's attacking this. Let's just stick the king there. Just avoids any funny business. I might even stick my pawn on a dark square. Just get everything on dark squares. Become invisible to the bishop. I'm also thinking throwing these guys up the board. Minority attack against the 3 pawns here, but just want to make a mess. So let's go. Let's go with h4 now. Can't bring his rook here or here. He could put it there, but nothing, no real reason. I got the feeling that the computer's going to say that this guy had opportunities to take me to the cleaners. And fair play to him. You know, boy done good. Check, huh? Alright, well, let's block it with a knight. If this pawn has ideas, then I have a4 preventing its advance. I'm +5 right now, so I've actually got... Alright, what's this then? What's your game? That actually stops the pawn coming up as well. But it does kind of put my bishop on a much less useful part of the board. What else have we got? Can't really take out his bishop, can't really attack his rook. Could go here, then if he wants to push the pawn I just take. So that's doing kind of 2 things at once, yeah? Let's try that. I'm now looking at routes around the board for my knight. Ooh, there's one. That's a fork. And king and bishop. Now if I can get rid of his bishop, happy days. In fact, I've got both bishop and knight looking at that square. So he's changed his angle of dangle. Okay, let's move the knight. Let's go for this. Let's go for a 3-way fork, shall we? Boom, boom, and boomity boom. Now he can prevent my knight from getting to this square with his bishop because it's a light coloured square. But the rook can't come in. Everything's too covered. Okay. Easy, swapping off. Rook takes, c3 defends both the knight and the bishop. And now he's only got one major piece. Swaps. Okay, now think of checking squares and what else can I do. Not scared of this rook at all. I need to engage my rook. I need to engage my rook and try to... Okay, I mean I've got this. I could attack the pawn. Let's try this idea. Okay, rook here, come into here, take out this guy. So right now his king is essential, right? He cannot win the game without the king. Okay, that just drops a pawn. This pawn moves, bishop comes back, takes again. Okay, now knight here defends the bishop. Pawn advances, bishop takes. I'll attack this pawn. He's only got one way to defend, but then I capture. If he advances the pawn, the rook is off the board. Yeah, he's in a really, really losing situation now. Okay, bishop takes, defended by the pawn. No troubles. And now I don't think there's anything he can do to defend this pawn here. Okay, so we'll take that one off. Right, now his rook is also tied down to the A file. Okay, I think now, and he can't defend the pawn. King can't get there in time. It's a resignable position now. Now that the king has no cover, yeah, there you go. Now the king has no cover, it's very easy for my rook to partition the king off the board. That's interesting. Let's have a quick look at the game review, because I really feel like he had, if not the upper hand, some significant opportunities. There you go. Yeah, whoa, 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 whoa. 2 blunders from me. Let's see. I'm going to have to check this and go over my notes. Okay. There we go. And that's a mistake. Okay. Absolutely right. Attack. Yep. Best move. Inaccuracy. Lining up my king and my queen. Alright, so what was the best move here? Right, we identified that. Bishop up here, preventing the king from castling. Also preventing this nasty rook from getting in the game. That turns out to be important. Give up the pawn. It's not important. Knight takes pawn there. I've got like queen here, attacking both knight and that square on g7. Okay, so we've learned something, but it wasn't the worst. That's excellent. And +3 now. Then he castles. Now, I should have probably just castled straight away and gotten my king out of line of here. I underestimated my opponent. Okay, what was the best move? Let's see. Castles, yeah. There you go. There you go. So I went from, instead of +3.2 to -2.4 with that move. Okay, great find, obviously. That was best. Good. Like that. Happy about that. Not great. Great find. Woo! But I make another blunder. Okay, I'm trying to get my king out of trouble. That's a mistake. He should have played. Oh. And what was my other blunder then? Knight capturing that was a blunder. Best move was bishop takes. Ah, okay. But now that is a blunder because it allows my king to get away from the attentions of this knight, and the rest, as they say, is history. But really, really well played by Patros17. Good game, mate. I'm going to go over this again, make sure I update my notes, make sure I learn a bit of a lesson. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.